what can we do working backwards from that problem to make it easier for an advisor or sponsor to find the information. And that's really how we got to this AI insight in the first place.
This is 401k Specialist Editor-in-Chief Brian Anderson, and this is the 401k Specialist Podcast. Today, we're going to dive into the fast-evolving intersection of technology and retirement planning with Michael Allen, Global Head of Retirement Technology at Morningstar Retirement. We're going to get to it right after this brief message.
Morningstar Retirement. Together, we can make retirement a reality. We're championing retirement alongside our industry allies to help participants achieve better outcomes. Learn more at morningstar.com/business/brands/retirement.
Technology is rapidly making retirement advice more personalized and scalable. And to talk about how that is impacting the workplace retirement plan market, we're happy to be joined by Michael Allen, Head of Technology, responsible for driving technical innovation and excellence within Morningstar Retirement's product group. He oversees product engineering, architecture, development, and quality assurance, and has more than 19 years of experience in information technology for the finance, banking, startup, and various other sectors. Welcome to the 401k Specialist Podcast, Michael.
Oh, thanks, Brian. Thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
All right. Well, to start off, I'd like to ask you about how technology shapes Morningstar Retirement's overall mission to help people achieve better retirement outcomes, which is a goal that is near and dear to our hearts here at 401k Specialist.
Great question. I mean, technology is at the heart of everything we do at Morningstar. It's always been that way. And I think it's no further from the truth now. I think, we're seeing a lot of innovation happening in the AI space, and I'm excited about a lot of those innovations and what it's going to do for the future of retirement advice and retirement planning. And, I've never, I've been in technology for a long time, and I'd never seen a pace of change this significant. So I think what it's going to do for us, our technology in particular, is going to evolve to more dynamic experience, more human-like experiences instead of having a linear kind of walkthrough where you're answering one question after the other. Similar to what you do when you launch a ChatGPT where it says, ask me anything. You can start by really having the participant ask what's on their mind, what they're having trouble with, and then have the experience and the AI help adapt and get the answers to the questions that they're looking for rather than trying to guess.
Right. Now, as you know, there's been an increasing demand in recent years among retirement plan participants for less cookie cutter or one-size-fits-all approaches. I'm kind of thinking about managed accounts in particular with that. Can you talk more generally about the role technology is playing in making retirement advice more personalized and scalable?
A great question. I think managed accounts is all about personalization and scale. So I think when you look at technology around the managed account space, you're seeing innovations happen in payroll, for example, where you're able to interface directly with payroll systems, pull some information in about the participant. I think, we have the great participant experience today. I think that's only going to evolve and get better over time and more personalized over time, kind of leading back to what I was talking about earlier, where it's more about dynamic context, relatable experience where you're maybe, engaging the participant at a more appropriate time for the information you need to kind of get them to the right outcome you're looking for. So I'm excited about that. I think it's going to, we have a great managed account solution today in market. I think all these technology interfaces are just making it better for both the unengaged user and the folks that do engage.
Right. All right. I'm wondering if you can share any examples of a recent innovation or an upgrade that you found has had a meaningful impact on plan participants or even plan sponsors?
Yeah, I mean, I think, I'll give one that we're working at now. We have a bunch of stuff we're going to call in the Innovation Lab, and one that we've been experimenting with and launching very soon is around reporting. So, just being able to extract what value a sponsor or the advisor is seeing from our managed account program, for example. We have today in our software, we have a collection of reports that advisors or the sponsor can look through to extract what value participants are getting from the managed account service. There's about 20 different reports. And I think what we've found with AI is allows you to kind of go through those reports like the advisor or the sponsor would a lot faster and extract the key insights that might be of most interest to the individual looking at them. So we're going to be launching something very soon that's called AI Insights for our reporting that does exactly that. It goes through all those reports, pulls out the interesting parts of it and then summarizes it right at the top. So the idea there is it saves 20 minutes per report, but that adds up over quarters when, you just get in there, find what you're looking for fast, and then you can ask follow-up questions if you're looking for something that may not be on this report. So really excited about that. Last thing I'll say about some innovation that I'm really excited about now is the ChatGPT App Store launched recently. And I think it's just another level of dynamic experience that we're experimenting with what that could look like. So we're in the process of prototyping a small application that uses similar forecasting methodology to provide a user with an app that they can use our methodology on, get a quick retirement forecast, and then ask follow-up questions about that retirement forecast. And I reference that one because I think with AI, I think you have to be able to trust it. It has to be transparent where the results are coming from. And I think when you start blending what AI is great at, where it's, more relatable, more personal, and you can speak more naturally to it, but it might get some things wrong and hallucinate. But if you attach our wealth forecasting engine or things that we are tried and true and tested, and pass the information from the language model into those more well-tested, transparent systems to get the results and the numbers that are important back, you start to have real magic and trust built into the AI system. So we're experimenting with a lot of those types of systems now and trying to produce more interactive, personalized apps that has data you can trust from our forecasting engines.
Right, right. Well, it's amazing the amount of time that can be saved, but it's if you can find a way to eliminate all those hallucinations, that's great. Now, Morningstar Retirement is kind of known for innovations. Can you walk us through the process of bringing a new idea, like a digital advice tool or an analytics feature, from concept all the way to implementation?
Yeah, I mean, we're organized into squads. So we have squads that are focused on solving customer problems. And I think look at AI as a tool, another one of these tools to solve a customer problem more effectively. And, we have a team that might be responsible for the advisor enablement or being a co-pilot for the advisor. And what that team does is look at how people are using the application today. So we have a lot of analytics that go into our current process. They look at that data and say, hey, we see they're spending a little bit more time than they should be maybe on these reports. And then we go into the innovation sprints. Like, what can we do working backwards from that problem to make it easier for an advisor or sponsor to find the information? And that's really how we got to this AI insight in the first place. And you kind of look at, okay, what's available now that wasn't available before? We have AI as a tool that may enable that faster. Similarly, we look at how people enroll in our systems and that we want to make that education process around their benefits, the retirement benefits, and what they can get out of managed accounts as easy as possible to consume. So we have a squad just focused on like open enrollment and maybe embedding the enrollment processing with the annual benefits. So you're thinking about dental, medical, and then why not retirement at the same time? So we have a squad just looking at like, how do we make it easier for people to understand what value managed accounts can bring to them personally? And they're working backwards from that problem. And we just recently launched a new enrollment experience that makes that process a lot easier.
Okay. I'm wondering, is there any one piece of technology out there that you're most excited about right now? And if so, why?
I mean, yeah, I think it's artificial intelligence right now. I think that's the obvious answer here. I think it's just a topic that you can't get away from today. But I do think it's one of the more revolutionary pieces of technology. It's really going to change how advice and how our experience really is delivered to the participant in the future. And it really goes back to making it more dynamic, more hyper personalized to their needs and away from just the dashboards and that linear kind of wizard experience that we're all used to with current technology. So super excited about what that brings to the table. And I think we're experimenting and the progress we're seeing is phenomenal. So I'm really excited in the next months and years what we're going to bring to the table.
So, looking ahead, what emerging technologies like AI or predictive analytics or even behavioral nudges, what do you think has the potential to redefine the participant experience over the next few years?
Yeah, I mean, I think when you boil it down, what is a participant trying to get out of a solution like managed accounts? They're trying to figure out how to retire in a way that's going to make sense for them. And I think using all these new tools like AI and nudging and personalization to a level we've never seen before is just going to make it easier to do. And, I kind of use the advisor model as like a gold standard. When you have an advisor that you're working with, They ask you a number of questions and you have more of a conversation with the advisor about your goals and like what you're looking for in your retirements or whatever it might be. And, when I look at the future of experiences, I see a more natural conversation happening that we haven't been able to do before and in a scalable way. So the advisors are busy. They have only so much that they can take on from a human to human perspective. How can we get, a good chunk of the way there using some of these newer technologies like AI to simulate or emulate that experience that gets, but scale in a scalable way for everybody. And that's what excites me. I think that's coming and I can see it. And I think the advisor then is able to focus on the true value add for their clients in a human way that the machines can't do today. And I think you end up getting a better experience for everyone that's more personal. And then the advisors can really, just going back to that example I used about reporting, if they're saving time, getting the insights they need, they can spend more time with the people and their customers, kind of going through their goals and figuring out how to get them to successful outcomes in a real human to human way. Really excited about that. I think that's the future of advice.
Right. And finally, to close it out here, when it comes to innovation, I'm wondering, how do you strike that balance between embracing new technology and staying true to what really helps participants? In other words, how do you ensure that innovation stays grounded in the real needs of participants rather than just kind of following the tech trends?
Great question. I think when you see all this excitement about AI, it's really easy to get caught up in the hype. But it really comes down to what I was mentioning before. We have squads really aligned around business problems and outcomes we're trying to achieve. So if we're trying to get, someone educated about managed accounts and how do we do that in a way that makes sense to the individual using these technologies. And it's really, you ground yourself in first principles about what the problem you're trying to solve is, and then work backwards looking at all the tools in the tool chest, including AI, to see how you can get there in the most effective way. And that's what we're doing. It's really important to have those end objectives and business goals at the forefront. So, you've achieved what you're trying to do despite what technology you end up using. So yeah, I think it's an exciting time and you have to look at it as a tool to get to the outcome you want.
Well, it sounds like things are looking good for the future of the participant experience. I'm excited to see how these things come online. All right, Michael Allen, Global Head of Retirement Technology at Morningstar Retirement. Thanks for joining us today and sharing your insights on the 401k Specialist podcast.
Thanks, Brian. Really enjoyed it.